Welcome to John Esser Sports Channel, where we're going to do League One Week 40 predictions. Yes, we're already at Week 40. It's frightening, isn't it? We've got Barnsley versus Exeter first, and Barnsley played Wigan last time out, 1-1 draw. Realistically, they've been playing a little bit better, if I'm being honest. Not a great deal, just a tiny bit. The game before was probably my worry, the 1-1 draw against Cambridge, coming back late on to get that equaliser, and it just didn't, to me, seem to be the best of performances, but it certainly wasn't as bad as some of the performances before. Barnsley win, lose, draw, but there's, like I say, those last two draws, Cambridge and Wigan, slightly improved, not a great deal. And then we get the team they're playing, Exeter, and they seem to have gone the opposite way because they had improved quite a bit. I'm not going to say just a little bit. They had improved quite a bit, and I think that I for one was looking at the Exeter side and thinking, they've really turned it around the last few games. Draw, win, draw, lose. Now, obviously, you can't really count the last game. Lost against Wrexham, but it was at home, 2-0. Look where they are, Wrexham. We're not expecting them to win, really, are we? However, they are beatable, so, They did put up a good fight, I think, and at certain points in that game, I thought, they could actually get back into this, but they just didn't quite muster up enough effective football, I think, in the end. Barnsley versus Exeter, what you were saying, 1-0, 2-1, 2-0. I think that there are goals in these games in both directions. There's 1s, 2s and 3s with Barnsley. With Wrexham, either way, it's sort of 1s and 2s realistically. So with the odd clean sheet, there's a 0-0 for Exeter, for instance, in Lincoln. There's a 0-0 away at Reading. 2-0 wins. In fact, the only time they've actually let one in was 1-1 against Rotherham, and the 2-0 the home defeat to Wrexham for Exeter. So actually, when you look at it, Exeter's defence is sneakily really, really good, isn't it? And I think that's why they've done so well in the past few games, isn't it? And all of a sudden, they just seem to be, not letting them in, but they're prone to just not scoring at the other end, or 1-1 draw at Rotherham. You think, well, they didn't play that well there, but they certainly managed to score, but they let one in, and you think, realistically, both these teams are a little bit unstable at the back at times, and I want to stress that at times. I think that Barnsley's defence is, at this very moment in time, slightly more ineffective than what Exeter's is. However, Exeter are away from home, and a lot of those really good scores that have come out of being away from home, the 2 wins in the last 6, both at home. So I'm thinking that Exeter may struggle a little bit away from home. They have done in the last few games. Not quite played the football they can do. What do I think about this game? Well, you're all going for Barnsley. I can see it being a Barnsley win. I really can, but I don't think it's going to be by very much. 1-0, 2-1, 2-0. I'm going to go with that one. I'm going to go with one of the scores you've put up. I'm going with Barnsley 1, Exeter 0. I really don't think there's going to be much in it. I think that the only thing that's making me think that is Exeter's away form isn't as good as their home form. And if you disagree with that, please do comment down below and give me your thoughts, Exeter fans, or even Barnsley fans. So we go on to the next game, which is Blackpool versus Reading. And Blackpool, extremely good at home. That defence can be really good at home. Yes, I'm saying can be. They lost 2-1 at home to Leyton Orient. Their only defeat in the last 6. They also won at home to Cambridge 2-1, which was another one where, they let a goal in. It's really strange. They, on the whole, though, at home, they have got an excellent record. And I do expect it to continue. Let's have a look at what the last 6 games. Blackpool, draw, win, lose, win. Now, that loss was at home against Orient, but Orient, they've been up and down, haven't they? They've started, I think, just to decline a little bit. We've got Blackpool in 10th, Reading in 6th. I just see this being a little bit one-sided. Because I think that for me, Blackpool at home are really, really difficult. Reading, win, draw, win, draw, win. So again, no defeats. However, let's see where the wins were. A win away, a draw at home, a draw away, a win at home to Wrexham, Stevenage draw at home, and last time at Peterborough 3-1 win at home. They are doing really well at home, but there again, they're not doing that bad away from home either. This Reading side just seems to be able to pick up the gauntlet, even if there's bad things happening off the field. And I think that it's going to be quite a tough task to see either of these two particularly going out there and trying to win it and win it. Reading are obviously the ones that want to win this. They're in 6th. Can they keep it up? Will they be around after the 4th of April? It's very, very soon, guys. I personally think that the EFL won't allow them to go under before they won't kick them out before the end of the season. I really hope not, and I can't see it. And this season, Reading seem to have done completely the opposite from last season. Last season, the off-field antics did make an effect on-field. This season, it seems to have actually got the players up for it to prove people wrong. And I actually don't believe that. What we see 2-1 to Blackpool. You're saying 2-0 to Blackpool, 1-1. I don't usually sit on the fence. I can see either team here winning 1-0. But I'm going to go with Blackpool 1, Reading 1. And we're going to move on because I think that game is going to be really, really difficult to predict because Reading will be wanting to make sure that they really do get out there this tonight and show that they still have a damn good team and can stay in that top 6 if they're allowed to. The next game is Burton versus Leyton Orient. We already mentioned Leyton Orient. So Burton in 21st, Leyton Orient in 9th. Now, Burton lost last time out to Stockport County. Stockport County having a red card on 90+4, but we're not talking about those, are we? 2-1 defeat to Stockport. Now, Stockport are playing really consistently good football. Burton, they're playing improved football. I was going to say improving. It's improved over the last few games, and I think it's just about touched its peak. They're now playing, I think, the style and with the abilities that they can get the most out of those players that they can get. Who are they playing? Leyton Orient. You see, they've dropped to 9th. And the reason is, if you just look at the last 6, lose, win. They even lost 1-0 to Rotherham, for heaven's sake, at home. How on earth did they do that? Away from home, sorry. So they went to Rotherham and lost 1-0. And you're thinking, it's just an odd situation. Their side can play brilliant football. Have they got it back with the last 2 wins? 2-1 away to Blackpool and 1-0 at home win to Stevenage. Well, I would say 2-1 away to to Blackpool when I've just said their defence is excellent. That shows you that they can score against the most brilliant defence. And at home, Blackpool are very, very difficult to get a goal against, let alone win. So I'm actually quite interested to see which Orient team comes out, because I think this could go either way. It really could. And just to put everything on this one, what are you saying? 2-1 to Blackpool. 2-1 to Burton. 3-1 to Leyton Orient, and 1-0 to Leyton Orient. I think I could be a goal out here. Because I think there could be 2 goals in this game. Which way is it going to go? I don't know. I'm going to go with Burton 0, Leyton Orient 1. I've just got a sneaky feeling there's a second goal in this, whether it's 2-0 to one side or 1-1. Or 1-0 to the other side, or 1-0. I don't know. I think there's 2 goals in this, and we'll go on to Cambridge versus Wrexham next. Now, will Hollywood FC in second beat Cambridge United in 23rd? Realistically, I think Cambridge lose, draw. Wrexham win, lose, win. Wrexham have now got to grips with this 5 across midfield, and now they've got an ability to swap between 5 at the back, 5 in midfield. It tends to just stick with the opening formation from what I've seen, but they changed it because people knew what they were going to do, 5 at the back, and all of a sudden they went 5 in midfield for whatever reason. And please do tell me down in the comments, Wrexham fans, why actually you decided to change the formation. But it worked after a while. You got used to it. It took a few games, probably about 5 or 6 games for the players really to get used to this new 5 across midfield. But it has worked. Yes, it's beatable. Yes, people like Reading found that if you just pump it over midfield, you just bypass midfield. However, on the whole, people try and hit it through midfield. When you've got 5 across midfield that are as good as what Wrexham's midfield is, you can see why it tends to fail if you do that. But that's the class of League One football, isn't it? That you've got an excellent midfield that's probably lower Championship class playing in League One, and you're being attacked by management class tactics that will usually try and either pump it up straight over the top or try and just pass it long or across the ground through midfield and tackle it and pass it through mid, which it's just the styles of football we have in League One. Cambridge Wrexham, I think there's got to be a Wrexham win, hasn't it? What you were saying, 1-0 to Wrexham, 2-0 to Wrexham, 2-1 to Wrexham. The odd goal for Cambridge is quite important. They keep scoring 1 goal. Remember the 4 defeats: 1-0, 1-0, 2-1, 1-0. Okay, they've only scored 1 in that lot. Last 2 games have been draws: 1-1 against Barnsley, 1-1 against Northampton. This side can score, and I just think that they may just be underestimated by Wrexham. I think that Wrexham will underestimate them, and I think that Cambridge will score. Can they stop Wrexham scoring more than what they score? They probably could. This could be a 1-1, but with you saying Wrexham all the way through 1-0, 2-1, 2-0, I'm going to go with Cambridge 1, Wrexham 2. Could be a 1-1 this, and if Cambridge really do occasionally do what QPR have done occasionally, put all 10 in the box and just defend like hell at the back, and it has worked for them on at least 1 or 2 occasions, and I think if they did it against Wrexham, it could work. It just could work, but on this particular broadcast, I'll go for Wrexham 2-1. Let's just check those last two games. I just want to do a double check on any issues we had from the last games. No. So we go on then to the next game, which is Crawley versus Peterborough. Now, as Rotherham fans know about Crawley, thanks for getting rid of Evans. Great on you. I was 50-50 on that, I must admit. Before Rotherham fans say, oh yeah, you're celebrating now, but we're thinking of it, who do we get in? Well, I think what we've got in now is absolutely perfect because we can train them up. They can actually go on the training field and train on football. Apparently Evans was giving them about 15 minutes every couple of days, and that was about it. No free kick training whatsoever. And you have to think, what on earth was he doing? What were the players thinking? Just not training all week. But apparently, due to the local paper, he's obviously written this article way before Evans left. And as soon as Evans left, he slapped this into the newspaper. And all the Rotherham fans looked at it and said, holy crap, that's why we were losing. Very little training, a couple of little 15-minute jogs around the pitch, and that was it. So we're now sort of with two people who absolutely are fitness freaks. They will make sure those players are fit, which Evans didn't do. They will be looking at trying to make some free kick training and some shot training, and I think it could work. Will we get a manager bounce? Those players are actually capable. It's just that they didn't want to play for Steve Evans. Crawley came down and taught us a lesson. Absolutely, thank you very much. So Crawley can play really well. They played so well. Was it Bristol Rovers, wasn't it, the week before? And I thought they should have slaughtered Bristol Rovers. And then they came against Rotherham. They could have got 7 or 8-0 at least at Rotherham. They should have got 7 or 8-0. Remember that, because then you have to think about their playing a Peterborough side who've not been doing too badly. Not been doing too badly at all. Look at this. Crawley, lose, draw, lose, win, win. The last 2 wins, though, 1-0 against Bristol Rovers should have been a lot more. 4-0 against Rotherham should have been at least 7 or 8. And that's not kidding. They really should have been 7 or 8-0 up. And the 2 defeats before, very critical this. A Charlton defeat 1-0 when Charlton are where they are. They're doing really well. And a 5-1 defeat to Huddersfield, which was probably, that was one of those I'm looking at and thinking, Huddersfield keep playing really well and then really poorly and really well and really. I think they get off for heaven's sake. They hadn't scored, I think, at home for since last year. And all of a sudden they play Crawley at home and Huddersfield score 5. First time in months that they score 5. Like buses, they come along all together. And Crawley have managed to do well, except for that one game. They just collapsed. Peterborough, on the other hand, win, draw, win, lose. Lost last time out 3-1 away to Reading. But look how good Reading have been. They've gone all the way up into the 6th slot there. So we've got 12th place Crawley versus Peterborough in 15th. Peterborough, to me, haven't been playing great football. Those 3 wins, one is against Cambridge away, one is against Shrewsbury Town away. The only one that's really impressive is a 3-0 Charlton away, 3-0 Charlton home win. But Charlton they play most of their better football at home. The away game is, good, very good at times, but not as good as it is at home. So I'm thinking they just played the right teams at the right time. What are you thinking? 2-1 to Crawley, 3-2 to Crawley, 3-1 to Crawley. Let me go with that one. I'm going to go Crawley 2, Peterborough 1, and we're going to move on to my friend Roy's team. Hello, Roy. This is your time to shine. Mansfield versus Charlton. We've just been talking about Charlton, and it's going to be interesting this because Mansfield, last time out, Bristol Rovers win 2-1, and they scored on 59 minutes. It's that guy Dwyer again. Really, really good, isn't he? This could be one of their signings which really, really does tick, doesn't it? He seems to be really getting into it. I think he's the only young one, isn't he? And I think that when we look at this, Mansfield, it's just one of those games I can see getting something against Charlton. They have started to actually score. They've been playing really pretty football. As Roy will tell you, Mansfield fan, through and through, they've been playing really pretty football all season. Then they lose Gregory, and it's like, oh crap, where are we going to get his goals from? Brilliant play, brilliant, really pretty, but not get. They cross the ball in front of the goal. You go past the sticks, but nobody's there to tip it into the net, and he's literally just needed a foot, But it happens so often. Mansfield now seem to be able to actually put the ball on target. The shots are starting to come in. I've not looked at this. Let's look at the shots for Mansfield against Bristol. 12 shots, 6 on target, 2 in the net. That is not the sort of figures we were getting from Mansfield. So I'm actually quite excited about this. I think that Mansfield here could do something quite impressive. Against the Charlton side, I mean, Mansfield are in 14th, Charlton are in 4th. You would expect Charlton to win, wouldn't you? Mansfield, draw, lose, win. They're getting better now, they really are. Charlton, lose, draw, win, lose, win. I mean, it seems to be they either get caught out and they just can't play that style or that method of football. Like Peterborough, 3-0 away defeat, and then you get a home win to Huddersfield, 4-0, and that should have been a lot more than 4-0. And you think, wow, this is going to be a high-scoring game. I just think this is going to be a really high-scoring game. Mansfield 14th, Charlton 4th, and Charlton are in 4th on 69 points, and you've got 5th place Stockport on 68, and then 6th place Reading on 62. They must be thinking now they are almost certainly going to stay, 7 points above 6th, 8 points above 7th. They must be able to turn this one into a top 6 position pretty easily. I think that Charlton are almost on the beach as far as the main season's concerned. I really do. They only need a couple more wins, 2 more wins, and they must be thinking that they can stay ahead of other clubs out of the top 6 like Huddersfield, Reading. Huddersfield, Bolton and Leyton Orient, possibly even 6th place Reading. And I think that's going to play on their minds. They really have done so well. I'm actually going to go totally against everybody else here. I really am. I'm going to change it again. I was going to say one. I'm going to say change it again. I'm going to go Mansfield 2, Charlton 1. I think Mansfield have got the bit between their teeth. They just want this 1-3 point. So let's go Lincoln, Huddersfield. Lincoln unfortunately lost O'Connor red card really late on, wasn't it? About 96 minutes, was it? 90 plus 4 minutes. Will that make a difference? Well, yeah, I think this could very well make a difference. At this point in the season, we're playing the 40th game. There's lots of tired legs out there. There's lots of people on disciplinaries. one red card can mean so much more than just that particular person not being in the next game. It can mean people having to move around, be in the wrong position. It really can. So Lincoln City lose, win, draw, lose. 12th position against Huddersfield in 7th. Dropped out of that top 6, haven't they, from that with that last defeat against Charlton, and what a defeat that was. Huddersfield lose, win, win, lose. Very, very similar, these two, as far as figures are concerned. And again, Lincoln City's, I said it last week, Lincoln City's stats are really, really good. You wouldn't expect them to be where they are in 12th position. You really wouldn't. They lost last time out, Lincoln, against Wickham side that didn't really play that great a football either, and Lincoln, I think, should have got more than a 1-0 win, 1-0 defeat, but they just couldn't seem to do it. Huddersfield 4-0 defeat away at Charlton. Charlton are excellent at home, I do admit they are best at home. However, they should have got even more than 4, shouldn't they, really? And you have to worry for this Huddersfield side. Can they come back? Well, what was the 2 wins were 2-1 away to Stevenage, and then 5-1 at home to Crawley. And we know Crawley have been playing damn good football in the 2 games after that. And they really did play excellent football at Rotherham. Not only did Rotherham play rubbish, they played excellent. Should have got 6 or 7, so or even 7 or 8. So I'm thinking that for this side to beat them just before they started to really pull the socks up and play really good football was even more impressive than what you think. Lincoln, though, can do it, and it's really awkward. What are you saying? 2-1 to Huddersfield, 1-0 to Huddersfield, 1-1. You know, I'm tempted with the 1-1. I really am. Lincoln at home are really, really quite good. 0-0 last time at home against Exeter, but it was against Exeter. I think that Huddersfield are really going to have their backs up now. They really want to get back into that position and knock Reading out of it. I'm going to go for one of the scores you said. I think Lincoln will score there at home. I really do. Last time it was 0-0. I think they'll score at home this time. I think it's going to be a Lincoln 1, Huddersfield 2. Can't see it being much more than that. I think that it's mainly look, either of these sides can suddenly score and score loads, but equally either side can just lose hope and get trounced. So I don't think it's going to be a trouncing either way, but I'll go with Huddersfield. Northampton versus Rotherham next, and this is extremely hard. Extremely hard. Northampton Town in 19th, Rotherham in 16th, and last time out Northampton drew 1-1 with Cambridge. Cambridge coming back there to equalise, and I thought Northampton really were going to win that one. They seemed to get the goal and then just seemed to try and make sure that Cambridge couldn't get a shot, even if it was from long distance. Didn't quite work. They equalised, and it came away with 1-1. Northampton draw, win, draw, lose, draw, and all of those 4 draws are all 1-1. Absolutely all 1-1. And I can definitely see Northampton scoring 1 goal. Absolutely. The only time in the last 6 games that they scored 2 was a 2-1 win away at Leyton Orient, which was extremely impressive. So they can have that impressive game and that impressive scoreline. Rotherham United win, lose, draw, lose. We now know from the on-site newspaper guy, he always follows them around. They only allow one person is from the advertiser to follow them, and the reporter Davis put a great news article out as soon as Evans left, saying that they actually have 1 or 2 short training sessions on the training ground, and that's it. He's not trained. He wasn't training anything about free kicks. There's no free kick training. Basically, very little training at all during the week, and he'd alienated all his players by picking on them for little bits of their performance during the games. When actually, he is just a bit of a bully, or he was when he was managing Rotherham. So now we've got someone who can act, a pair that will absolutely make sure that the fitness levels are pumped up. I mean, you can't pump the fitness levels up in 2 days. I'm sorry, it's impossible. But maybe by the weekend we can see a fitter side starting to come out of this, and actually they might even have had 1 or 2 sessions about how to kick the ball from free kicks. It's hilarious but true. So I'm a little bit worried still. The last 2 games, 3-2 defeat against Wycombe and a 4-0 trouncing by Crawley that should have been 7 or 8, and it really should have been. I'm going to say Northampton won. I just don't know where on earth Rotherham United are going to be. Can he get them playing for him? Can Hammy get them playing? I think Hampshire can get them playing. I think that he'll be there making sure that they're trained properly, at least for 1 or 2 sessions. And I think that we will manage. I think that they'll want to do well for this manager, thinking that if they want a contract at the end of the season, a lot of them are out of contract. What are we going to do? Do we play well? I think absolutely. How well? I don't know. What are you saying? 2-0 to Northampton, 2-1 to Northampton, 2-0 to Rotherham. I'm actually going to go completely against you. I'm going to go for Northampton 1, Rotherham 2. I think this could be the point where the players do give us a manager bounce. And we go on to Stockport versus Stevenage, and Stockport in 5th versus Stevenage in 13th. Stockport last time out. Let's have a look at that. Stockport. Go to the right game. Stockport in 5th played Burton, won 2-1, and Stockport, they had Ethan Pye sent off on 90+4, didn't they? But didn't really make much difference. He was already a won game by then. So although Burton were pushing, Burton were trying to get that equaliser, and did actually look like they might get it. Against, and they're 5th, so actually, they didn't play as well in those last few minutes against Burton as I thought, or either that or Burton really did start to up their game to try and get that equaliser, and nearly did it for me. Stevenage in 13th again played Leyton Orient away, lost 1-0, but they'll be quite happy about that, I think, because at the end of the day they didn't actually play too badly. Stockport 5th, win, draw, win, lose, win. They're trying to keep this 5th position. How far are they away from 6th? They're 6 points away, 68 points for Stockport County. Reading in 6th on 62. They one more win, I think, and they Stockport will be thinking, we're almost home and dry here. We should be safe in the top 6. Got a nice gap, a nice buffer gap. We're on 40 games. There's only 6 to go after this. We win this, we should be relatively safe. Never say never. Stevenage, though, in 13th, and you have to think that Stevenage will be thinking, but we're not really going anywhere, are we? They've got 49 points. They just need a point, and we're set. We're really safe on 50 points, aren't we? We can be on the beach, try a few things out, see what we're going to do next season, try a few of the kids, and see whether it works. And I think that's the sort of thing I'm looking at here. We're looking at can this can this Stevenage side really try and get in more than just that 1 point they need to be on 50 points? They've not been doing very well. I think that they'll be happy with a point. I don't think they'll be too dismayed with none. But Stockport, realistically, I think have got more of a need, more of a desire to get that 3 points to make sure they're almost in that playoff 6. Almost guaranteed it, but never say never. And with the form at the minute, even red cards considered, I think that we're still looking at a Stockport win, but I think it may just take the shine off it, that red card. Stockport, what are you saying? 1-0 to Stockport, 3-0 to Stockport, 2-0 to Stockport. I'm going to go... I actually think that this is going to be a pretty dull game as far as shots is concerned. I just think that both teams are going to be thinking, now let's just get through this one and try and build up for the intensity of those last 6. Stockport may underestimate Stevenage. Yeah, they are at home. I just keep coming up with excuses for them. It's the fact that they only lost 1-0 against Wrexham. I'm not going to go for that one. I'm going to go for that one. I actually changed it. I actually do think that Stockport will want this more than Stevenage. I was actually going to go for a 1-0 Stockport. I'm actually not. I'm going to go for Stockport 3, Stevenage 0. I think that they really do want this more than Stevenage, and I think Stevenage will be quite okay as long as they play well, as long as they don't play badly, because that's what fans hate. Don't mind losing, as long as we don't lose and don't try, which is what Rotherham's been doing. Wigan versus Bolton next. This is an interesting one. Wigan last time out 1-1 against Barnsley. They came back to break the hearts of Barnsley fans again. Barnsley just seem to be losing it in the end of games, or right at the beginning of the game, and again they did it with Wigan. Wigan win, lose, draw, win, lose, draw. Wow, it should be a win then, shouldn't it? Against Bolton, who have been absolutely flying until the last 3 games. Draw, win, lose, lose, lose. Lose against Bristol Rovers. Don't know how they did that. I really thought they were going to come back and equalise in the dying embers, but didn't happen. A defeat at home against Stockport County, but look where they are. They're very, very consistent, Stockport, if nothing else. And a defeat away at Blackpool. What did I say about Blackpool? Very difficult to win at Blackpool. They got a goal. They got a goal at Blackpool, and their defence at home, Blackpool, is really, really good. This is going to be a really, really hard game to predict. What are you saying at home? You're saying 1-1 or 2-1 to Bolton and 1-1. And, I'm going to agree with most of you. I'm going to go with Wigan 1, Bolton 1. And we're going to move on. I just think that you're probably right. It's too close to call. 18th versus 8th. You would have thought Wigan would be odds on to lose it, but they have been playing some good football, and I think that's where I'm coming through on that one. Wycombe versus Shrewsbury next, and this is another one of those very one-sided ones, isn't it? Wycombe in 3rd versus Shrewsbury in 24th. Shrewsbury now, I'm afraid, are almost out of it, aren't they? Shrewsbury 28 points. Bristol Rovers are in 20th on 42, so it's bye-bye, isn't it? How many points difference is that? 24. Oh dear. Yeah. They would have to win this and every game in the middle, wouldn't they? So this is basically their swan song, isn't it, Shrewsbury? All the management changes aren't going to make any difference to them. Wycombe Wanderers third. Can actually they? See, I'm looking at that second position for Wycombe. They've got a game in hand over Wrexham. They would have to win that game in hand, and they would be level on points and ahead of them on goal difference. Actually, so it's not in. They really do have to win this one. And the more goals they get, the more that 5 point extra goal difference is going to be, and this it may go down to goal difference, second position. In which case, this team needs to be scoring quite a few goals. Now, what are you saying? 2-0 to Wycombe, 2-1 to Wycombe, 3-0 to Wycombe. I'm actually going to go with Wycombe 4, Shrewsbury 0, because I think that that by now the Shrewsbury players know what's going to happen. And Wycombe, on the other hand, are thinking, we need the goals. We need the goal difference. And here we go. Bristol Rovers versus Birmingham. Birmingham fans, here we go. You watch now. So Birmingham need absolutely no roll call, do they? Bristol Rovers draw, win, lose, lose, lose. And actually, Bristol Rovers have been just about edging it a little bit better each time. But for me, everyone around them's doing the same. Crawley, perhaps underneath them, are doing it a little bit better than what they're doing it. They both have to pick up the socks in order to catch the ones above them. Can they do it? I very much doubt it. I think it's probably going to stay as it is. But I'm thinking after the performance from Crawley last weekend, hell, that's not a relegated side playing against Rotherham. They should have got 7 or 8, and you think they absolutely can. And now what we've got is Bristol Rovers, similarly getting a little bit better. However, last 3 defeats: Lincoln City 5-0, Crawley 1-0, important that one, and Mansfield 2-1 defeat at home. Just as Mansfield start playing well, and you're thinking they played the wrong teams at the wrong time, didn't they? Birmingham though, win, lose, win, draw, win. Surprise draw Northampton 1-1. Didn't think that was going to happen. Bolton 3-1, but we did have lots of Bolton fans on here saying, "You've underestimated us. We will score. We won't park the bus." Well, they played from the back. And they managed to win 3-1. So they are beatable. Not very often. Very, very rarely. Can they be beaten by Bristol Rovers? Well, they got drawn by Northampton. It's not out of the question to have a 1-1. And I'm almost thinking 1-1, but I'm not going to. And I'm thinking Bristol Rovers will want to do something here. They need to get a win. They need to try and get a win to get that gap between them and Crawley stationary, at least stationary where it is. And I think coming out, it's a bit like John Merrill says who's a Birmingham fan. He says, "Look, attacking them's useless. It's just you're just going to get killed." Well, I think that Bristol Rovers will attack because I think that's the only thing they can do. They can't sit back and hope for a draw. They need to try for a win. And I think, yes, you're right, John, it probably will lead to a trouncing. I'm going to go with Bristol Rovers 1, Birmingham 4. And that actually is our games. And hopefully you'll enjoy it. Hopefully you like and subscribe. It's just a bit of fun. Please, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, please do leave a comment down below. I do enjoy reading them. Even if I don't agree with them, I'll try and respond to them, to the comments. Please do like and subscribe. It's John S. Sports Channel over for one more League One prediction week, game week 40. Thank you. Like and subscribe.